everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am making a video covering the 2018 Grand Prix of Figure Skating Helsinki. I think that's the official title of this competition, and it is the first time that a Grand Prix competition is being held in Finland, which is really exciting. Of course, this opportunity came about because China decided to withdraw hosting any international figure skating competitions in order to prepare for an upcoming Olympic bid. So I'm really happy for all of my fellow figure skating fans in Finland who are so close to the arena. I know there's a few of you on Twitter that spoke to me about it, so that's just so awesome. And today's video I think will be quite a bit shorter than what you all are used to seeing from me. I watched all the top performances this morning in bed and I wrote notes on my phone, and I don't think I have that much to say. So this probably isn't going to be the most in-depth review or video you'll see of this competition. I apologize for that, but I still wanted to get a video up nonetheless. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, my favorite discipline is the ladies, and we'll start there. Congratulations to reigning Olympic champion Alina Zagitova from Russia, who won this competition. Not a surprise to many of us, certainly not myself. I think the biggest question most people had was how she was actually going to skate, how well she would skate. And she proved to all of us in the short program that she is only human, making a huge mistake in terms of figure skating standards by popping her combination. So she did a triple Lutz single loop. Big loss of points there. Now, despite that major mistake, she ended up in first place with a very high score and quite a few points above the rest of the ladies. And I'm not sure I agree with that. I could see her being in first place, but maybe not having so much of a margin over the other ladies because no one was perfect. She mainly got the high score because of her generously awarded program component marks. Those were pretty high for a major mistake made in the short program. Her overall score was a 68. Now, the one thing I do like about Zagitova skating is that her programs are the exact opposite of what you would describe an empty program. So her programs are so full with choreographic movements, transitions, like it's just a lot of activity even in between the technical elements, being spins and jumps. At times, it can look like she's rushing through it all because there's so much. And I kind of wish that she would hold her movements for a second or two longer. She has great flexibility, wonderful extension, but it all just looks rushed and hurried, and I don't think it does the program any favors, especially since I don't love her short program. But she did carry herself well as a leading lady here despite the mistakes. But it's going to be interesting to see as the season goes on how she competes against other top women. So Zagitova's total score here, let me double check that. It is 215. Last weekend at Skate Canada International, Elizaveta Tuktimisheva won with a score of 203, so quite a bit of a discrepancy there. And then Satoko Miyahara won Skate America with, I believe it was, 219. So that's a closer margin to Zagitova. But Satoko was really clean at Skate America, whereas Zagitova made major mistakes here. So we'll have to see how the rest of the season turns out. So let's move on to the silver medalist here. Another female from Russia making her International Grand Prix senior debut would be Stanislavski Konstantinova. Totally butchered that name. I am so sorry. But she actually reminds me of Alina, a tad bit more refined, but that might be because there's less difficulty in her choreography. So don't come at me just yet, people. Major mistake in the short program, unfortunately, but I actually find her triple Lutz, triple toe combination impressive. The only thing is that it doesn't look effortless. And I think she has the potential to make that way, maybe if she didn't do the arms above her head. But still, she gets the rotations uh, most of the times, and it looks really good. She has a more mature look to her than some of the other Russian skaters, and I think it's because she's a smidge older, like 18 years old rather than 15 and 16. And I think you could tell. I think she wears her maturity really well on the ice compared to the other ladies. So I'm a fan of hers. It was a close call for the silver medal. So it was between Stanislavski and Kaori Sakamoto. And Kaori of Japan was a contender for the gold medal here, some people would have said. So it's interesting that things turned out this way. How close was it? Like less than a point. Actually, let's see if I can pull up the results. Oh, about 1/10 of a point. Anyways, Kaori Sakamoto of Japan pretty much lost the silver medal, maybe even the competition, from the short program. I do, and it's unfortunate because I do think she's a more expressive skater, great ice coverage, open arm movements, and a nice projection to the audience. That's what I wrote down. She could not execute a successful combination in the short program, unfortunately, and ended up falling twice. So the double axel was her clean element, and that just put her down in the standings. It was really emotional to see her crying after the program. So sad. She has so much potential, so much technical ability, but I believe she can learn from this experience. She rebounded with a very strong free skate. The jumps were on, and the overall skating was smooth. I think I enjoyed watching Kaori more than Alina. Everything had such great flow in and out of it, minus the spiral sequence towards the end of the program, because that was a bit shaky. She will have to wait and see if she will qualify for the Grand Prix final in Vancouver, but she's got a chance. She got the silver medal at Skate America and the bronze medal here, so she'll probably find out last minute right after the final Grand Prix competition. So good luck to her. It'd be a great experience for her if she were to qualify. Next, we have in fourth place another skater from Japan, Yuna Shirawa. I'm the worst with names, I swear. Young and upcoming skater from Japan. I wrote really quick rotation on her money jump, which is the triple Lutz triple toe. Amazing speed and ice coverage. I also think she has a really good knee bend and very appropriate choice of music, both the short and the long, for her. Under rotation marks, though, kept her off the podium with lower program component marks in the free. So let's take a look at the specifics with that, just so we can add in some time here. So I'm pulling up the protocols from the free program. And yeah, Yuna, ouch. Ugh. I see 3 under rotation calls, and neither triple Lutz triple toe jump were completely clean. Yeah, and then her program component marks, a lot of high 7s. So I think she's just a Japanese skater to look out for in the future as she develops her skating some more. And then we move on to Loina Hendricks from Belgium, who made a splash earlier this season. I believe it was at Nebelhorn Trophy. So it's really exciting to see her. Nice to see her complete a competition at Skate America. She had to withdraw before the long program, so no chance to make the final, just getting out here to compete for the experience. She is someone with amazing potential. Let's see here. I actually think she has one of the best spins in the competitions. Amazing positions, good centering on the ice, high levels. Like her spins are what a lot of the ladies should look up to. Level 4 on the step sequence in the short program, which is actually really hard to achieve. A lot of times the callers can be really stingy about that. You have to have really good, deep, and clean edges, which she did. So kudos to her. It shows how talented she is with her raw skating skills. Now, she strikes me as a very powerful skater with some good jump techniques. So when the jumps are landed, they are landed well. and her scores were below the top ladies, mainly due to under rotation calls in both programs. I have a gut feeling that she'll be able to fix it in the next few months, no problem. So I look forward to seeing more of her this season. So, like the ladies, in the men's, the reigning Olympic gold medalist won the gold medal here. We are all so lucky to witness some amazing skaters early on in this competition. So I will say that Hanyu looks to be in amazing shape right now. Short program seems to be very near his best ever. And the moment for me was actually the triple axel. Zero telegraphing whatsoever. And I love the back twizzles out of it. Oh, if you have a chance to just rewatch something of Yuzuru Hanyu's programs, it would be the triple axel in the short program, no doubt. Questionable scoring on his combination because the landing of the triple toe after the quad was not perfect. He had a fight for that, but it did receive positive grades of execution marks. He had to grit it out, but kudos to him for staying on his feet and having it rotated. The long program was not perfect, but it was still impressive. He was fighting because, and he actually said that himself as he came off the ice. He told his coaches that he had to fight for it. Well, let me tell you this, is that Yuzuru Hanyu makes fighting look so good. If I were fighting on the ice, I would look like I would be wanting to pass out. Kudos to his choreographers, Jeffrey Buttle in the short and Shaylin Bourne in the free program. Canada has some amazing choreographers. I think we should send the whole world to Canada to get programs choreographed. Like, that is the place to go if you want a nice program. The moment of his free program, to me, is definitely that mind-blowing sequence. So it was a quad toe triple axel. Now, it wasn't clean. The rotations were there, but just couldn't stick the landing to get it to be perfect. I'm still mind blown because just the thought of trying to do a triple axel after any jump in a combination is mind blowing. He's really superhuman. I just can't believe it. And on that note, I wrote down that I do like that Hanyu continuously does different things and adds new technical elements every season. He pushes the envelope and makes the sport interesting. So he's not being stagnant. If he doesn't have a good competition, it's because he's trying new things and he's pushing himself. So I gotta say, he makes himself a more impressive skater each season, constantly breaking records. So kudos to Yuzuru Hanyu. I did want to make mention of the scores here. So far in the Grand Prix events, Yuzuru Hanyu won this competition with a total score of 297. Nathan Chen won Skate America with 280, and then Shoma Uno won with 277. So Yuzu was not at the total top of his game here. He was not completely clean, and he still scored much higher than Nathan and Shoma. So this may be Hanyu's season, unless maybe Nathan Chen decides to add in the quad flip. Maybe if Shoma can clean up some of the jumps in his programs, we'll have to see. But if you're asking me, I like all of those three top men that I just mentioned. Like, I'm a fan of everybody's. I know in the figure skating world, it looks like sometimes you have to be Hanyu or Shoma or Nathan or Javi. It's like, no, I really like them all. Just my favorite skater in the whole world is Gabby Daleman. Well, that's about it. Okay, let's move on to Michal Brezina from the Czech Republic. Really respectable skate from him here. Much better competition overall in Helsinki than at Skate America, but with 2 silver medals, he's got a really good chance of making the Grand Prix final. I'm glad that we're halfway through the Grand Prix series now, so we can talk about how close someone is to qualifying for the final. His overall score here was almost 20 points higher than what he scored at his first Grand Prix 2 weeks ago. That's awesome. Perfect short program. Amazing. When the jumps are on, the program lights up and his skating shines. His free program was pretty much on minus the fall on the axle. So that's great. He was able to fight back for the rest of the program. And you can tell that he really starts to get into his free skate performance once the AC/DC song cuts come in. So I'm glad he's skating to something that he loves. He's been around for a while, and I think the British Eurosport commentators said this, but the benefit of being a veteran, per se, in the sport is that you maybe know how to cope with the pressure better. So kudos to him. I like Michal. And then Junhwan Cha of Korea, skating 2 weeks in a row. I don't know how these skaters do it, seriously. That's got to be tough. But he was good in Skate Canada. He was also good here, just not as great. And that could be noted with his overall scores. It took a little bit of a dip here in Helsinki than it did in Skate Canada International. And I think 2 bronze medals in a row on the Grand Prix shows that he has potential to be something great and long-term for men's figure skating in Korea. And the moment of the short program for me was the triple axel. I don't know what you call this move, but it's where he does like a lunge right after the triple axel. Oh, yes. I've said this before, I'll say it again, because I don't have many new comments this week. I like how his programs are very age appropriate. He's so young, he's 16, and he shouldn't, try to branch out from who he is right now. It's more about settling into your skate and your programs and knowing who you are as a skater. So, really cool for him. I think I mentioned this earlier, but his overall score was 10 points lower here than it was last weekend at Skate Canada International. But you can see that he's starting to become more comfortable with the skating. So it's really the technical elements, the difficult quads, that's holding him back. As soon as he lands those consistently in competitions, I think we'll see his program component marks increase. Then off the podium, we have Mikhail Kolyada of Russia, and it was really hard to watch his performances. I will say I think he had a disastrous short program. Whew. He is a much better skater than what we saw in this competition. Quad toe was not a perfect landing. He popped a jump into a single, so there's no combination. Really unfortunate. He did redeem himself with one of the best triple axels in the competition, though. I just wanted to take some time and highlight that for Mikhail Kolyada. I think he has one of the best jump techniques for a Russian man, or, maybe as good as any of the other top men. Great height, great snap, great landing when they're on. So the jumps are there. I think it's something else, maybe something mentally, or some pressure that he's feeling that's not allowing him to skate well in this competition this week. Otherwise, he's got the goods. He knows how to jump. And when he's got all his jumps on, he's a contender for the top spot on the podium. And I say that because I think that his overall skating has improved. And I saw him at the 2016 Worlds in Boston, where I didn't really know who he was. I thought he was good then. I think he's much better of a skater now. The way he carries himself on the ice, posture, better speed, edges aren't bad. It's just going to take putting together a clean program, maybe when it matters the most. So I wish the best for him. And an example of how the triple axel was so good in the short program was that 5 judges, I think, gave him the maximum grade of execution mark of 5. So +5, because his triple axel is that good. If you look at all of the protocols, all of his clean elements, whether it's a jump or a spin, receives great GOE marks. So that just shows how talented and how good of a skater he is, even when he makes mistakes. And I actually like his Carmen free skate program. It's always unique to see a male figure skater with a Carmen program. It's, different, and I like it. And I would say you could tell that he wasn't really comfortable with his free program yet, despite me liking the choice for him, because he had a few stumbles, and I think the most notable one was on the twizzles of his step sequence, and I think it happened twice. So interesting thing to note there. And I ended my notes on him by saying I think on a normal day he has one of the best jump techniques in the world. We'll have to see how he does later on this season at the Grand Prix event in Russia. Hopefully the home crowd will make him feel really comfortable and allow him to perform at his best. So let's hope the best for him. Now let's move on to pairs. So in first place we have from Russia, Natalia Zabiako and Alexander Enbert. Totally butchers those names. I am so sorry. So in my notes I said this is their year to rise in the ranks as some of the top pairs are absent after the Olympic season. The first thing that comes to mind when I saw them skate is that they know how to bring drama and intensity with a level of sophistication. In other words, they're not tacky going about it. And I think a lot of their elements are done really well. So well that I personally want to believe that they trained with the Chinese. Just a thought, because their throw jumping elements are so impressive. Like all of the Chinese pairs, height, distance, like landing. I think in the free program, it was the throw triple flip, and Natalia was completely off axis, but was able to land completely clean, backwards on one foot and everything. It's like she was a cat. And triple twist, also impressive element for them. So if they keep this up, if this is a good season to do that, they may set themselves up really well leading into the next Olympic Games. So I'm a fan of them. Let's see, every element really flows so well into the next. Beautiful synchronization between the two skaters. Alexander just needs to work on the solo jumps because those were the two mistakes in both segments of the competition for them. But they could be eyeing a medal at Europeans and maybe set themselves up as a dark horse for medalists at Worlds. We shall see. It's all really early in the competition. So, yeah. Next up, we have the Italians with the silver medal here, Nicole Della Monica and Matteo Guaris. And let me tell you, it was a very, very close race for the silver medal. A lot of people actually seemed to think that they should have been in third. But like I said, it was so close. I think they helped secure the silver medal here because they were first after the short program, mainly because they were clean. There were a lot of mistakes in this competition, it sounds like, and they landed all of their technical elements. They are really easy and enjoyable to watch. Like, I remember smiling when watching them. No worries whatsoever. I don't panic for any like dangerous lifts or anything. So that's a really good trait about watching them. And let's see. The technical elements were not perfect, though, but the throw triple twist was so close. I think it was in the short program. Yeah, that was the one, like, dicey element in the short. And then Nicole stepped out of her side-by-side salchows. But I will say Matteo looks really comfortable doing the lifts, and he has really good posture, and he's got nice extension in the leg. And that's not always something we say about a male pair skater. So he is good to look at in terms of skating skills. So it's not just all about the female in this pairing. Unfortunately, the free program was filled with many mistakes here and there. I mean, it just was far from clean. The clean program in the short program is really what saved them to win the silver medal. Another Russian pair won a medal here, and it was bronze, and it was Daria Pavlyuchenko and Denis Koidikin. So sorry for butchering the names, but they are the reigning world junior champions. They had a solid short program with a fantastic triple twist, if I might add. Whew, that was so high. They are a very well packaged pair, but they just need time to grow into their programs and maybe even just more time competing as seniors, because I do think they have the goods. It's just one of those things where it's going to take more competitions to gain experience to kind of make a difference in the way you carry yourself across the ice. But they're on their way to being a good pair, I believe. One thing about these two skaters is that their elements are done so far apart from each other, especially in the jump. So I'm wondering if that's something that their coaching team is going to work on in the future. And then their free program tech score was much higher than the Italian pairs. So that's one thing to know. So they can do the elements well, but then the reverse was the case for the program component marks. So that just shows how not as developed they are as a team, which is okay. It makes sense because this is their first year on the senior ranks, especially compared to the Italian and the Russian pair who won the gold medal here. They should be really proud of themselves for getting third place at a Grand Prix. Kudos to them. And then for ice dance, I'm not gonna lie, I just watched the winning dance team. I hope that's okay. Please don't come after me. So it is, oh, now I'm not going to pronounce their names right. Let's see here. Alexandra Stepanova and Ivan Bukin of Russia. It seemed like they were the clear leaders here. I felt like they were the ones to beat anyways. I'm loving their sultry free dance. I think they're a very dynamic team, and they just go for it. They dance like the choreography was meant for them specifically. So kudos to them. The twizzles were so on point, and that's got to be a difficult thing to do to end the twizzles series right at the beat of the music in the free dance. I think that's got to be so tough, but they did it so well. Rotational lift also at the end of the free dance was insane. An element that I actually liked was actually towards the beginning, where they kind of did a spread eagle move and then a little hop that went right into the curve lift. I mean, that's the element I could watch over and over again from them. And of course, that received a level 4 with such high grade of execution marks. Kudos to them. If you look at the protocols, so many positive GOE marks and some very generous program component scores as well. I personally think they deserved it. Again, you all know this, I'm not an expert at ice dance. I wish Nicole was here on this call with me to help me out, but she's not. I will say I'm also impressed by their rhythm dance. So this year, the requirement for the rhythm dance is Tango Romantica, and that's not my personal style. I haven't been feeling many of the short dances, or excuse me, the rhythm dances we've seen so far, but I really like Alexandra's and, oh, I'm forgetting their names already. It's Alexandra and Ivan's rhythm dance. I think it's non-traditional, it's dynamic, it's unique, it's kind of dark, and of course, they dance to it so well. I think those twizzles look so difficult, but they were done so well. So I know a lot of people talk about the Shibutanis having amazing twizzles, but I actually think this ice dance team has good ones as well. Or at least they work really well with the two programs I've seen with the choreographic sequence with the music. So whoever their choreographer is, they are a genius in my opinion. So it's really good. And yeah, I really liked everything. So I'm so sorry I did not watch any of the other ice dancers yet, but please forgive me. Maybe I'll try to catch everything next week. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.